Monster Melee
Annis Hag
versus
Medusa.
Two iconic monster women, both dreadful creatures, but which one will be today's mistress of terror? Welcome back to Monster Melee, everybody. So glad to have you here. I have returned. I'm back at the Bard's abode after doing much traveling. It was a huge adventure. I faced lots of challenges. I gained lots of experience. I think I actually gained a level. In today's clash between D&D monsters, we have the Annis Hag versus the Medusa. And for today's battle arena, we return to the shadowy and boggy chambers of Moss Valley Caverns. This map and many others can be found on my Patreon page. That's Esper the Bard on patreon.com. I also publish a monthly newsletter that has a bunch of RPG content in it, and I do drawings every month as well that give people a variety of different rewards. So check out the page there and show some support. It helps make crazy endeavors like Monster Melee possible. The links for everything are down in the video description. Looking here at today's matchup, start off with the Annis Hag. This is a large Fae with a chaotic evil alignment, challenge rating of 6. Her armor class is 17, 75 hit points, speed of 40 feet. Strength, she is resistant to cold as well as non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. That is going to come into play here. She's also very powerful in melee combat. She has a couple innate spells, but I don't think they're really going to come into play in this context. For weaknesses, she has kind of low to mediocre saving throws, except strength. Her strength is pretty good, and she has no ranged attack. Then, turning our gaze to the Medusa, this is like straight out of Greek mythology. Medusa, she is a medium monstrosity, lawful evil in alignment. Challenge rating also is 6. AC of 15, hit points of 127, and her speed is a standard 30 feet. For strength, she has pretty good hit points for her challenge rating, and she has a petrifying gaze. Now, people can choose to not look at her gaze as long as they're not surprised and caught off guard. Though if you're not looking at her, you're effectively blind to her and all the different, associated penalties that go along with not being able to see your target. The only real weakness I could think of with the Medusa is that she also has low to maybe mediocre saving throws across the board. I could see this battle going either way. I could see either one of these monster women winning this. I think the chance of the Annis Hag getting petrified, turned to stone, is not super high. The chance is there, though. If she can get a hold of the Medusa with her crushing hug, that damage is going to add up really fast. The Medusa's attack routine with like her 2 longbow shots or her snake hair plus her 2 short sword attacks are pretty good. So I think she could do some pretty reliable damage to the Annis Hag, especially with that snake hair, with the poison that it does. Her regular weapons are going to be at half damage due to the Hag's resistance. I'm going to start off here with a stealth check from the Medusa versus a perception check from the Annis Hag. I think that contest is the right way to get this started. That's really how the Medusa would operate, starting off lurking about and trying to catch the target off guard with her petrifying gaze. They've both got +5s to their skills here, so really just who rolls better on the d20. So we got a nat 2 for the Medusa and a nat 19 for the Annis Hag. All right, so the Annis Hag has spotted the Medusa, and we're just going to get right into rolling initiative. By the way, I'm using Foundry VTT. I always get questions about that on every one of these battles. Foundry VTT. It is a beast of a VTT, but I've come to enjoy its benefits. All right, Medusa has 1 initiative. She's going to start off, I think, with a couple longbow shots and then move to try to get out of the dashing range of the Annis Hag. So there's going to be 2 attacks here from the Medusa's longbow. The arrows do inflict some poison damage along with it. First attack's a miss. Second one is a hit. Okay, we're looking at 3 piercing with the resistance plus 9 poison, so that's 12 damage total to the Annis Hag, and the Medusa is going to do some moving. I think she'll probably come back around over there. We go to the Hag's turn. Large ogre-sized thing. She actually has a speed of 40 feet as we saw, so that's going to make her dash, get her pretty close within range. I think she'll stay back just a little bit. A creature needs to start its turn within 30 feet of the Medusa to potentially trigger that petrifying gaze. However, if in the meantime the creature comes close enough or might see the Medusa, you'll check it kind of between turns. Unless surprised, a creature can avert its eyes to avoid the saving throw at the start of its turn. If the creature does so, it can't see the Medusa until the start of its next turn, when it can avert its eyes again. If the creature looks at the Medusa in the meantime, it must immediately make the save. Makes sense. So round 2, the Medusa is going to move just a little bit so that she is gazing upon the Annis Hag. The Annis Hag will avert her gaze. She will not look. She'll kind of turn away. And the Medusa will make 2 longbow attacks. This will be at advantage because the hag can't see her. We've got a critical hit in there, don't we? Yep, we've got 1 hit and 1 critical. So I'm going to do the piercing damage separate first. So that's going to come to 9, and this is going to be a lot of piercing damage, or a lot of poison damage rather here, plus 28. Woof. All right, so a total of 37 damage, and the Annis Hag just took a massive hit there. The hag is in great pain, and the Medusa is going to move that way, and this might actually get the Annis Hag within melee range just now. Yes, it sure will, though she'll need to choose whether or not to avert her gaze. I don't think she really has the luxury of averting her gaze now, so she's going to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, attempting to avoid the beginning of the petrification effects. It kind of starts with a restrained due to a partial petrification, then repeats the save at the end of her next turn. Failing that, fully turns to stone. Okay, 22 is a con save. That's a great success. She is going to attack, probably wants to go ahead and do the crushing hug attempt. So that'll just be a regular attack roll. 23 is quite a hit. This is a lot of damage, like 96 plus 5. 31 damage to the Medusa, so that's a pretty good chunk, though she's still in the green, and the hag grapples her with that. At the start of each of the hag's turns, the Medusa is going to take that 96 plus 5 damage again. However, while crushing the Medusa with her hug, she cannot make attack rolls. Okay, well, Medusa could actually, I think, pull off a win here if she hits with all 3 of her attacks. So I've got snake hair, then 2 short sword attacks. So I guess she's quitting her longbow, which just kind of clatters to the mossy stone floor. She draws her short sword. Her snakes flash the vipers from her hair. Oh, the first one's not good. They're all misses. The Annis Hag manages to avoid and stave off those attacks. She's going to start her turn now. Does she avert her eye? Of course she'll avert her eyes, because this is just automatic crushing damage from her ogre-like hug. Ugh, 42 damage to the Medusa. That's pretty major. Medusa's into the orange now. And what would the Annis Hag do for an action? Dodging will do no good, because if you can't see the target, then you get no benefits from the dodge. Maybe a dash, though. I think she might actually drag the Medusa down these stony steps, this kind of like natural stony steps. It might be worth it, like getting her into this mucky, slimy, muddy bog water, in terms of like not being able to even see the hag and having difficulty fighting while being held under the water. So with some difficult terrain plus going half speed for dragging a grappled target, a dash is just going to get her to there. And then next turn, I would say she can actually get into that mucky, boggy channel of the cave and potentially get the Medusa under the surface of the water there. Back to Medusa's turn. She is going to benefit from the hag not being able to see her, though. Maybe the hag should not have averted her gaze. Oh well, let's do this. Snake hair attack with advantage, followed by 2 short sword attacks with advantage. This advantage can be brutal. Gonna hit with the snake hair, hit with the first short sword. Second short sword is a miss. Let's see what happens here. The snake hair is pretty nasty. It has 46 of poison on it. A mere 1 piercing plus 19 poison damage. That's 20 right there. The hag is down to 6. She has to really luck out here, and the Medusa get a low damage roll on that short sword. This is not a terrible amount. 3, oh my. Okay, the hag is down to 3 hit points. The Medusa had really hoped to finish her off there. If she would have hit with that second short sword attack, that would have killed the hag right there. Go to the hag's turn. Does she avert her eyes or not? No, she does not avert her eyes. So she'll make her Constitution saving throw against the start of a petrification effect. She totally saves. Now the crushing hug damage. This could be the deciding factor. 35, I don't think that's going to do it. Nope, the Medusa has 54. So the Medusa is still at 19 hit points. The hag is going to get down into the boggy channel with the Medusa. So the Medusa is now under the water. I'm going to say the water level is just high enough to where it goes over the Medusa's head and snake heads and all of her. The hag's real big. She's like this ogre-sized thing, so her, like, you know, neck and shoulders are up over this slimy, mucky swamp water.
Die, snake woman.
So the Medusa's in a bad way now. She's going to have disadvantage on her attacks because she cannot see the Annis hag. She's underwater. So I'm going to roll snake hair with disadvantage. That's some nat 3. That's not going to do it. First short sword is a 17. That exactly hits. All right, so since the Annis hag is at 3 hit points, this short sword roll has to be a nat 1 or a nat 2 in order for the Annis hag to survive. It is a nat 6. That's going to be 4 damage total. The Medusa drives her short sword into the cold black heart of the Annis hag. And the horrid giant hag woman splashes into the filthy water and perishes. The Medusa hauls herself up, greatly wounded, nearly squeezed to death onto this stony shelf. And she is today's victor. Woof, that really could have gone either way. That was a pretty amazing fight. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you'd like to see a rematch of this fight, let me know. I have some other rematches that I intend to get to in the near future, as well as, I keep saying this, some other types of videos. They're not quite ready yet. They're going to be coming out just a little bit down the road, but I'm very excited for those. Thank you everybody for watching. An extra special thank you and a bardic bow of gratitude to my supporters over on Patreon who really help and really make a big difference. In particular, thank you to Lucas Mesmo, Adam Wood, Nick Thy Pirate King, Jared Primont, Locke, Nicholas A., Technicolor Shale, Robert Brashini, Ben R. Till Wrench, and Tornado. All right, everybody, until next time, may your adventures be many.